about unlocking the technical coordination required to play Elvin Jones's style. It's some exercises that are meant to give us the coordination to pull off what we want to get from his playing. Before we get to the main exercise, we're going to learn 6 preliminary exercises. The first of 6 is a rolling triplet between 1 kick drum and 2 snare drums. The next 5 exercises go off of this theme, but the first 3 are going to shift where the snare drum lands in the sequence, and then the last 3 are going to use the same sequence but flip the drums. So now the bass drum is going to be the snare drum. I'm just going to quickly play through them because they're pretty self-explanatory. The second set of preliminary exercises is playing doubles between the snare and the bass drum, and I'm going to play it just as its sequence because you are able to play this one as a 4-measure exercise. Now we're at the main part of the video, which is where I want to spend most of the time. You should do those preliminary exercises first, though, because it only gets more complicated from there. We're following the same idea that I went through in my Tony Williams video, which I'll link, and it's taking page 38 of Ted Reed's Syncopation and doing some work around it. Now we're going to do the second half because I feel like I've done the first half a lot in that other video, so now we're going to do measures 24 all the way to 40. In that video, we basically filled in the rhythms with eighth notes, but now we're going to fill them in with triplets. Let's take the rhythm in measure 24, and we're going to play it on the bass drum with our jazz ostinato. That rhythm is 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2. Now I put the pattern above it. And now we're in triplets because we are playing the jazz feel. That's step 1, just like in the last video. Then step 2, we're going to be filling in every single triplet subdivision with the snare drum. You'll continue through each measure, so 24, 25, 26, all the way to measure 40. Take them each individually and apply this key to all of them. The bass drum gets the rhythm and the snare drum is going to fill in triplets, not eighth notes, but triplets. So let's do it with measure 25 just to see the contrast between the previous measure and this one. Measure 25's rhythm is 1 and 1 and 1. But the jazz ostinato, kick drum gets the rhythm. Measure 24 and 25 together to see how we get that cool rolling comping feel here. And already that's the first of the two systems that this video is about. This is the one where bass drum gets rhythm, snare drum gets the fill-ins, which is most of the time what Elvin Jones does anyway, because it's obviously easier to play a fast sequence of triplets with your hand than your foot. But now we'll get into that part where we do fill in with the bass drum. To keep it simple, go back to measure 24, get the snare drum on the rhythm. Fill in the bass drum. I'm going to go really slow on this part. Measure 25. Lastly, measure 24 and 25 together with this system. So for the example of the entire half of the page, I'm going to use the bass drum rhythm and snare triplet fill-in. But I'm going to play measures 24 all the way to 40, and it makes a little etude out of this system. So to review, there are 6 preliminary exercises to go through, and those can all be done individually. Then you can do the sequence of doubles that I played as a group near the beginning of the video. Once you do that, then you'll be ready to start doing these rhythm variations using the Ted Reed page. I did want to include 4 Elvin-isms, which I hear a lot in his playing and which I personally enjoy. The first one is a little comping fill that he often does at very fast tempos. You can think about it as ride, snare, kick, ride, snare, kick, ride, snare, kick, ride, snare, kick. And it makes this nice little rhythmic circle. And your ride cymbal keeps playing the jazz rhythm, but you can still think of it as ride, snare, kick, ride, snare, kick. These are often done done at a fast speed. So for example, the second one I'll demonstrate slowly. This one is not as easy to pick up on just by seeing the sheet music. Accent, tap, tap, kick on the cymbal. And you at first can think about that as 1 and a 2, or 1 and 2 and 3. What's cool about how he plays it though is that he's going to put it on the in the triplet of 2. So 1, 2, a 3 and a 4. 1, 2, a 3 and a 4. 1, 2, ba, ba, ba. At the faster tempo he usually plays it. The third Elvinism just takes the second one, overlays it over the bar, and changes the sticking a little bit, and adds a tom. Sounds like a lot of change, but take the first one that we did. That's right, left, left. Now we're going to go, same accent pattern, same rhythm, but now right, right, left. So instead of, now it's still with a little accent. And that single left hand gives us some room to put it somewhere else. We don't have to change really quickly. So I'm going to put it on the tom instead. I'll played that one wrong, but let me do it again. And then the Elvinism number 3 is play it over the bar, and you end back up on a crash on the of 4. Okay, an upbeat crash. If you'd like any assistance with these advanced patterns, you can email me, or we can set up a Skype or a Zoom lesson. I've been doing more of those lately and I really enjoy them. I've had a few people reach out and I have recurring lessons with them now over an online lesson. So I'll put my email on the screen right now. If you think about it in a measure of 3/4, it would sound like this. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a. Repeat it 3 times. You cut it short a little bit early on the 3rd time. It should be on the screen right now. Do that as long as you want to. I think I've heard him do it for like 4 measures straight.